You know, the biggest gripe that a lot of the original LA Guns guys had with Kelly Nichols was that back in the 90s, he did not want to tour. You know, they said that. I don't know if it's true. They said that he met a lady and he was starting a family and he's got a whole other career. One thing about rock music, though, people lie a lot. It could have been the case, it might not have been the case. That's in the past. We are here in 2025. There are two LA Guns, kind of, sort of. There's Riley's LA Guns. God rest Steve Riley's soul. Amazing person, amazing drummer, a driving force in LA Guns. In Riley's LA Guns, that was Steve Riley, Kelly Nichols, okay, classic lineup bass player, and some other great members. They're still putting out music. They're still playing. On the other hand, you've got the other version of LA Guns, which has got classic era lead singer Phil Lewis. It's got founding father, guitar god Tracy Guns, and some other cool people. Mick Cripps is not playing. He's kind of doing his own thing, original rhythm guitar player. And the reality of the matter is, and let's focus on Mick for a second, because Mick and Tracy wrote a lot of good songs together. Kelly wrote some great songs, really great songs, and Kelly and Mick were a great writing team. And then I think it's crazy because, honestly, why don't those guys invite Kelly back to the band? I'm not saying that Riley's LA Guns shouldn't continue. I'm not saying they shouldn't keep making music, but I'm just saying, guys, you're not getting any younger. You've got, a couple of gold records. You've got a platinum album. You've got a recognizable catalog. You've unfortunately lost one of your original members because you couldn't get your bullshit out of the way and just make a reunion. I mean, you guys never really did a reunion. You did a record and a couple of shows in the late 90s, but you just never did a full-fledged reunion, and that's kind of messed up because now you can't, because Steve is gone. But the next best thing would be to invite, you would have to invite him. How is he going to invite you? He's kind of like out there in the cold. You would have to invite Kelly Nichols back. It would be really, really cool because Kelly and Phil really get along very well. At least they used to historically. I think Kelly and Tracy get along really well, historically at least. Well, historically, Tracy and Steve were brothers of another mother. Two peas in the same pod. But things change, right? But I just think that it would be cool to see three original members of LA Guns back together. And I feel that if that happened and you guys actually did tour, that Mick Cripps would come back. Because I don't think Mick Cripps wants to join Dysfunctionality Central any more than Izzy Stradlin wanted to join it. So the reality of the matter is, it would make you more money. So that's that. That's something to think about. It's not just for the fans, because I know a lot of bands say they're about the fans and for the fans, but that's just lip service. But no, you would actually make more money. You would actually make more money. And look at what happened with Aerosmith and Kiss. Aerosmith would not tour with Kiss, co-headline with Kiss, unless they had three original members. Now, granted, that's, water under the bridge now. That's over 20 years ago, but it's still, the precedent is important. You have more original members means you have more money. You have more fans. So there's that interest, right? Of course, the fans would love it as well. And at this point, I think to argue that point would be rather ridiculous. Okay, and then finally, there's the product, right? I mean, there's the music that you can write together. Kelly is a bona fide writer, musically, lyrically. He has penned some of the biggest LA Guns songs, and it only stands to reason that if you guys all got together, you could make killer albums. And even if Mick Cripps, swooped in from time to time, he would actually swoop in from time to time, I believe, if Kelly was part of the fold, because it would be the closest thing to what LA Guns used to be. And, maybe Mick doesn't want to tour. I don't know. I mean, that was the gripe with him as well in the 90s, but I don't know if that's true or not, again, because it wasn't true with Izzy Stradlin. I mean, he said so even on MTV when he left Guns N' Roses. It's not that I don't want to tour. It's just how did he want to tour and what kind of music did he want to do and stuff like that. But, I mean, I think if Steve's no longer with us. See, that's what I'm talking about. You guys don't have a lot of time. I mean, you have time, but you don't have a lot of time. Time is not it doesn't grow on trees, right? But I mean, if Tracy and Phil brought back Kelly and actually created a band out of that, and Mick swooped in from time to time, you could at least musically, product-wise, have some songs that are a real throwback, not just marketing, not just lip service, but a real throwback, to the Cocked and Loaded era. You know what I mean? To the Sex Action era. To the Hollywood Vampires era. Even to the Vicious Circle era. The Vicious Circle was a phenomenal record. It was a kind of techno, not techno, but kind of electronic, whatever, but it was a really good record. So you guys could have that again if you wanted to, but I don't know if you want to. I just think that, Kelly brings so much to the table, guys. I mean, he's a really, really good bass player, very good bass player. That's an instrument that gets overlooked a lot. You can be a really bad bass player also, and you will hear it in the rhythm. No matter how good a drummer is, if the bass player stinks and can't keep time and doesn't, it's catastrophic. It's catastrophic. And he is a phenomenal bass player. He knows his instrument. He loves playing the bass. He's not playing the bass because guitar is taken. He is a bass player, okay? A real bass player. And he was part of the magic with Faster Pussycat. I mean, this is a bona fide rocker, a real rock and roller, okay? You got that, but then you get the stage presence. He knows how to entertain without getting in the way of the lead guitar player, without stealing the thunder of the lead vocalist, but still commanding his own section of the stage, his own sort of, interest from the fans. And that's cool, because most bass players don't have that, right? And then on top of that, you got a guy that can write. He can write music. He can write lyrics. He can help with arrangements. He can help behind the glass on the production side. You would be a fool not to want him there. Now, is he so unreasonable, so toxic that you just can't work with him? I just don't think that's the case. I think that, he really has gone out of his way not to, throw back at you guys, not to go tit for tat, and maybe that's annoyed you, because that annoys sometimes people, because they would much rather you have it out, whether it's in the press or, it's out in the parking lot after the show, just shouting at each other, than to have someone say, no, I'm not going to get involved. No, I just want to do my thing, man. More power to them. God bless them. They hate that. It makes them more angry. So if that's the case, then maybe you guys have a hash, you just go to the Rainbow, you know what I mean? Go to the Rainbow and get yourself a hamburger and fries. Maybe have a cold one. Have a cold one. Pay respects at the Statue of Lemmy. Take a picture. Look, 3/5 of LA Guns with the Spirit of Lemmy at the Roxy. To be continued next year, hopefully with Mick Cripps. You do stuff like that, guys. It's marketing and it's good stuff, but you're not going to do that, are you? So I mean, come on, guys, get over yourselves. I'm being serious here. Like, people want to see this. You can make more money, write better music, So if even if it's not about the friendship and the brotherhood, as it seldom is, there's a lot of other good reasons why you should do this.